University of Fantasy Basketball. I'm your host, Dr. Dane Andre, and I am with our distinguished professor, Kilonomics. What's going on, bro?
Nothing much, man. Happy to be here. Happy to be talking basketball, man. Happy to be here with you, man. Like, how are you feeling?
Good, good, good. Landon lost his first tooth today, so
Oh, congratulations. That's a big one, man.
that's a big one. So, Tooth Fairy's coming tonight.
T- How
You
much, how
know,
much, how much you guys talk about giving him, man? I couldn't believe the inflation that we had to give both kids, or no.
oh yeah, how much did you do?
Man, I was trying to just put $1 in Dallas is like, nah, we got to put like $5. Um, $5.
Five
Five
dollars per tooth?
$5 per tooth, man. I
All
remember
right.
I remember growing up and it was like a quarter. We were
Yeah, that
doing a quarter per tooth. So it was wild for me.
Yeah, that's I feel like I'm lagging a little bit, but are you do you see that?
Yeah, man. I wonder like, are you gonna treat it like you treat your fantasy teams, man? You could be a little bit frugal with
As you
some of these
know,
with some of these players, man.
as you know,
I want,
I'm a little on the we like to, assess our value and spread our dollars to acquire as many assets as we can. So, won't be, no $5 per tooth in this. We want to keep expectations low for young Landon. So, we'll see. I was thinking about $2 or $3 per tooth,
Mhm.
Um,
Yes, that's
you know.
reasonable.
I think that's right, you know.
Mm.
That's pretty good value, I think, for where his teeth are right now.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, man. Um, yeah,
Yeah. But
yeah,
we've got our four mid teams to talk about tonight. Doing continuing on with our 2024 season recap. So let's see who's on deck. We last time we did the bottom four, and those teams were kind of struggling last season. These teams also struggled, but they're in a slightly better position to advance next season. But maybe not. We'll see.
uh,
Whether what happens this off season. So let's start it off with the Syracuse Sparrows. This is a team that actually had a strong start to the season last year. I believe they won like something like five of their first seven matchups. And For a while, I don't know if you remember, but uh, owner Teddy B, he put out a message like saying like they were going for it, and he was ready to consolidate all his assets and go kind of big fish hunting. Um, but somewhere along the lines that kind of changed. I don't know if it's because cats started getting injured. You remember who, what's your man's name? Miller on Charlotte,
yeah,
young boy.
Brandon Miller, man.
Brandon
That's
Miller, yeah.
that's that's my guy, man.
Yeah, your boy, Brandon Miller, he got hurt, and I can't imagine Brandon Miller affected their success that much. But
Yeah.
cats, started getting hurt. I mean,
Mm.
but look what they did in the offseason. They uh drafted Ariza Shea, drafted Alex Sarr, number two pick in the NBA draft. I think he went to him like number 4 or 5 in his draft.
Yeah, that
Is
was
that
that
true?
was that was a funky draft. I mean, I got Sarr in one draft, and it was at pick three. I mean, it
Hmm.
it, it was just wide open as far as where people were valuing a bunch of the rookies.
Yeah. in one of our leagues, I passed on Sar at like with the number three pick.
Hmm.
And so I don't know. I mean, we'll see if that was a mistake or not. But you know, so they also acquired um Asar Thompson, Manuel Quickly, just some of those kind of big names, I guess from their acquisitions list. Um, but they also let go of some people in the as casualties to acquiring some of this talent. So you know, they were doing like the young asset, big name veteran build, and they had Steph Curry, James Harden, um, you know, all- gave them away to get some nice players, including a one Mr. Jalen Johnson. That was key, man. That was a good pickup. What you like about the Sparrow season?
And gave these players away is kind of the right phrase, man. The Sparrows, man, just thinking about this team, the last couple of years. I mean, they're doing more pump fakes than Carmelo Anthony. Like these guys are like, oh yeah, we're ready to compete, or we're 1 year away, or the cap, has changed, so I gotta, change the strategy. Maybe I need to, align everything for one more year out. I mean, it just didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. They had a very good roster on paper, and I think they just pump faked themselves out of potentially competing for a championship. There is no better time than today to try to win it all. You cannot predict the injuries, the scheduling, when players are going to get hot, when players are not going to get hot. There is no way, especially in a weekly format where there is more variance. If you've got it now and you're ready to go now, then you go now. Um, and so personally, I do like the arrivals. The arrivals are pretty good, especially Jalen Johnson and Jared McCain, which I'm pretty high on. Um, and then I mean they've got two big rookies, which are pretty nice. But I mean, they're set up again. I mean, it's the same story, right? It's kind of like the meme where you're, leaving the door, coming back in, leaving the door, coming back in, leaving the door, coming back in, and I just don't know what's next for the Sparrows, man. I do not
Yeah,
know what's next.
to your point, I mean, it seemed like they had a lot of really young assets, even though they brought in a couple of those older veterans like Harden and Curry, but they had Jalen Duren, they had Alperen Şengün, um, and added guys like Sar and Reza Shea. I, I believe I guess they traded for McCain in one of those deals too. But yeah,
Yeah,
like you said, the pump fake, at first it seemed like they were going young and maybe adding a couple of guys around the border to see what they did. I don't know if they felt like they were overperforming for where they wanted to be. I don't know if Cooper Flag got in his head and, he's like, let's bring this back down. But they almost did, man. Ended up with the second draft pick, second pick in the lottery.
and almost means nothing, man. We'll never remember how close he got. Like it's either you get it or you don't. And I think it was just a missed opportunity for him. I mean, just to give you a little bit of some insider information, like he was in my DMs relatively frequently trying to get Jokic. And he's like, I don't know, but you know, you know what, I'll do it. How about, something around Sengun for Jokic? And I'm like, Sengun?
You don't want baby Jokic
Yeah.
for
It's
daddy
like baby
Jokic?
Jokic. And he's like, oh yeah. I'm like, no, I wouldn't even consider it. And I think it just shocked the system that I wouldn't take Sengun. I'm like, it's a nice player, man, but you're talking about Jokic. Like,
Yeah,
pe
yeah.
people looking at the dollar value and this and that.
What would it have taken for him to get Jokic from you? Like, would it be Şengün? Give me Alex Sarr. Give me like, what's the package that would have got him?
The package, who did he have on the? I would just want to make sure I got all the names that was on his roster.
It depends on when in the season this was because he did a bunch of moves, made a bunch of pickups, trades, all that. So the roster shifted quite a bit throughout the
All right.
season.
All right. Let me think. Like, SARS definitely would have been a start. That would have helped. Um, Brandon Miller.
Mm.
Brandon Miller and Sengun, I would have been like, okay, you're serious. Um, but
Wait,
yeah,
so is that Brandon Miller, Sengun, and Sarr for Jokic?
I think that 90% of the time gets it done.
Okay, okay.
Um,
I
yeah.
mean, I mean, you're right. This is Jokic, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I think a lot of people forget that, man. And so, you know, and
Number
I'm,
one player in the league, man. Number one player in the fantasy league.
yeah, and I mean, people just think, right? They see a high dollar value and they don't want to pay the price. They're trying to cut corners, man. They're like, oh, but if I take the whole roster and I trade y'all's asses, I won't have anything left. Then I'm like, all right, Jokic is not the home for you. Jokic is
Yeah.
not the home for you.
Now, tell me what you make of this trade. The Steph Curry, Jalen Duren, James Harden were sent to Amherst. In return was quickly Jalen Johnson and then DeJounte Murray. Who DeJounte Murray, if I don't recall, was going to be like a crazy salary after
Mm.
inflation and everything. What did you think about that movie?
I mean, it was clear Sparrow valued Jalen Johnson
Mhm.
pretty damn high, and I like Jalen Johnson. I'm a big Jalen Johnson
Oh
guy.
yeah, 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 definitely.
Um, but I don't know. I'm just not trading all those assets, especially given I think Curry was healthy and was good to go. Jalen Duren was good. Harden had a phenomenal year last year. I'm just not packing it up, man. I just don't pack it up.
Had he
Like,
not made those moves, how far do you think he could have gotten in the playoffs?
I mean, I don't know. Like, he could have been our champion. He could be sitting where you were at. I mean,
I'm not gonna, I don't disagree with that, and here's why I say that. When you look at his wins this past season, he's actually racked up some pretty good wins as far as like beating playoff teams. I mean, he beat me in week 5, um, beat the second runner-up, NYK, Knickerbockers, in week 6. Um,
he beat me up. I remember.
yeah, beats Amherst in week 12. Um, beat When did he play you?
13, week 13.
Week 13, beat you 7-2. He killed you.
I remember that, man. And he
Um,
had he had the G Leaguers out there. Didn't
right,
matter.
right. So, and so I mean, you're right. I mean, you get yourself in the playoffs, and again, he finished ninth, regular season rank as ninth. I mean, I don't think he was necessarily close to getting in the eighth spot, because of the pivot, um, but yeah, if he's in the playoffs, I mean, that's a kind of a dangerous team, especially when you're talking about Harden, Curry, Şengün, who played well during the playoffs. A few other guys that were kind of running around causing trouble for him. Yeah, you never know.
I mean,
Maybe
he
it was
could.
a white flag.
Yeah, I mean, he could have pivoted in the other direction. Brandon Miller was an asset. He could have got off Brandon Miller and got somebody. I mean, I think this is just what happened, man, when you get just so infatuated with the stats, man. Like, you're just so focused on some sort of stat or some sort of projection, and you're not allowing a little bit of error, right? Like, what's the error bar? Like,
Mhm.
what's the 25 or 30%? probability event that could be, opposite, for example, of what you think might happen in the future. And I don't know. I think sometimes, yeah, it could be it could have an adverse effect
Yeah,
on the manager.
for sure. So, you know, wrapping this up with the Sparrows, what do you see as the, I guess, biggest needs? Obviously, you see the rumors flying around. They're trying to consolidate pieces this offseason. Probably a case of having too much talent, maybe. Um, but
Clearly,
what would you do in this scenario?
clearly it's not too much talent, or it's not enough talent that people care about. Otherwise, those guys would have been on the move. Um,
Right, right, right.
the market is, you know, never shying away from like adding new talent. It's just a mismatch as far as valuations.
Yeah.
They certainly need to consolidate, but it just shows like the management just being a little bit too heavy on some of these like low cost kind of assets or players that they value. And so they're gonna have to make tough decisions, like how many they have ridiculous amount of cap. So how many players are they looking at? Are they looking to just add one player like Jokic, which they could have
Mm-hmm.
had, a potential trade? Um, yeah, it's just a lot of interesting things. What direction do you think they go?
Um, I, your guess is as good as mine, but I think if they can't move some of the pieces and find a trade that works for them this off season, they're in danger of letting go some maybe some intriguing talent. At the sake of freeing up some roster space to sign people in the offseason, free agency. I mean, I don't know what we don't know what names are necessarily coming up. We can speculate, but um, you know, I could also see this being a repeat of last season if we don't have a clear direction of where we want to how we want to build around with this team. But as you mentioned, they've got some really good pieces to lay a foundation when you talk about Jalen Johnson, Asar Thompson, and Alex Sarr, um, Emmanuel quickly,
Mhm.
you know, uh, I guess I would say, sky's kind of the limit there. They also, not pictured here, but they made a big move for Anthony Davis's offseason. Deal is not quite done yet because we haven't processed made any trades official, but, um, you know, looking towards next season, it seems like they're probably going the same direction, I think, right? Big names with some young talent, and we'll see. All right, so let's jump right into the Titanes de San Juan. Finished the season as a 10th in the 10th spot. Um, I don't recall them making a ton of moves, but pulled off a huge one, which was picking up Luka Doncic. Obviously a game changer in terms of what he can do on the floor. But what did you think about Titanes's season overall?
I think it was right on par with what I expected, right? Like a team that would kind of make some noise, maybe talk a little bit, maybe get hot for a little stretch, but in the end, it just wasn't going to have enough to actually be able to compete or um, be a contender. Um, I think I think there's a lot that team needs to do as far as reconstructing the roster. I think it's getting a little bit too expensive. It kind of overachieved pretty early in the process. And so I think, unfortunately, um, that gave that that manager a false perception as far as like what reality is. And I think they're living in it. It's kind of like when LeBron James won the bubble championship, right? And everybody thought, oh, the Lakers, the Lakers, the Lakers are contenders. The Lakers are here, right? And then people realize, oh, he was just playing in front of like no fans. Like that championship meant nothing. I mean, to the point, I mean, they still haven't had a parade for that championship. My man was trying to get on with the St. Louis Rams, a football team. It's like, oh yeah, we should have a parade together. It's like, come on, man. Anybody got no time for that? You can do a parade with simulated fans, just like, the open gym, type of games you guys were playing. And yes, that is to discredit the championship.
Wow, wow. I have no comment about that championship. I sat front row seat for that. And
Front row seat at home or front row seat in Mickey Mouse, Orlando, Florida.
no, this was technically the season after the bubble, but
Uh,
um, you know, analogy accepted. W- when you look at the top five performers from last season, to your point, guys are getting expensive, right? Scotty Barnes at one point, you look at it and you say, like if I could hold on to this guy for a few years, we in business, right? You got Donnie Mitchell, who obviously was traded in that Luka trade. Um, but you had, guys like the fake rapper Miles Bridges, you got, the Brunson Burner in there. These guys are still affordable, but getting up there in price. Luca actually is gonna be like 120 next season. So what do you make of that? What do you think of that move now?
and I've been seeing the videos and the tape, man. I really buy into like off-season workouts as long as
Oh,
it's
you're
not
you're a
Ben
believer in
Simmons.
that, huh?
Oh yeah, he's about to have an MVP like year, man.
Yeah. So you messing with it, 120?
120, man. That's not even a decision. That's like he signed, man. He's like wearing the jersey. Like he
Okay.
would, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's about what you're gonna pay for him in the open market, I think, right?
Yeah, I mean, possibly even more.
Possibly even more.
So I think it's good value. I mean, Luca sometimes doesn't show up pretty high in the ranks, but from a counting stat perspective, like that points, rebounds, and assist combination, plus he's hitting threes at volume and he's a pretty good field goal percentage shooter. His free throw percentage fluctuates, but like he can carry your team, man. He is, especially once he gets when he gets in his hot stretches, man. He is just annoying to play against.
And what do you think about the guy I mentioned before, Scotty Barnes?
Scotty B.
62 is the keeper price this year. What do you are you rocking with it?
I definitely got to rock with that. Scotty B at 62. I mean, he's still like on the averages, top 20, top 30 type player. He gives you a little bit of everything. So I mean, they
Hmm.
got a pretty good base, right? That the issue
Yeah,
the issue is
absolutely.
is can those two guys pair nicely together, right?
Agreed. Yeah,
Um
very nice.
so how much
Yeah,
is how much is Jalen how much are we talking about for Jalen Brunson next year?
$73. It's getting
Right?
expensive, right?
Right, but you got some Knicks fans, right? You got some Knicks fans. Maybe you
Oh,
need to
definitely. We got like
make
at least three I can think of,
right. Maybe you need to make some calls, right?
including myself.
Right. You already got some Knicks fans overpaying for some players, right?
You
So,
know, you know what, man? Tatanis, give me a call, man. Give me a call because I think you need a center, and
right,
I've got a center for you if you want a deal. We might be able to work out a package where like I send you another guard, um, because but I'd be interested in Brunson at $73 maybe.
What are you thinking Sengun for Jalen Brunson? Is that the particular package? Is Sengun on the move, man?
No, no, no. Sengun, he's just arrived. He didn't even unpack his bags yet.
Uh
I'm getting him settled, man.
oh, you
Doing
see, I see you're realizing how perfect of a match it would be for for that particular team. And you're just like, nah, man, I'm not giving to the cause.
Yeah, well, I mean, I like Brunson. I'm a homer, so I'm just saying, give me a call, man. If you want to work it out, because you've got Brooke Lopez, who finished number 18th last year in totals. I don't know if we can how much longer we can expect him to keep performing and or being a contributor in that way, but now you see he's headed to LA to be back up to Zubac. So, I don't know. I think he's from California, if I'm not mistaken. I feel like Brooke is ready to kind of like fall into you know, his phase of his career where he's like, just call me if you need me.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna be that veteran leadership at the end of the bench, man. I love Brooke Lopez, still the all-time leader net scorer. Right? He's going back to Cali.
Yep, I still
Um,
love me some Brook Lopez, so
yeah.
I'm not mad at it. But you can't, but you're not holding on to Brook Lopez as your starting center. I don't think, right? In this league, right?
Unless you just don't know what's going on. But I mean, Titana sometimes, shows some evidence of not knowing what's going on. Um, but he's also a two-time champion. You gotta definitely
He's
give
got
respect to that. There's some teams that have been in here a long time that haven't even smelled,
spelled the
even
finals.
being in a finals matchup. So,
Yeah, yeah, he's got two of them things, so you got to put some respect on his name for sure.
yep.
All right. Cool beans. We'll move on to the next team. That is Money Man.
Money,
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 money.
money, money, man. What do you think, man? What do you think about their season?
I mean, I think
Yeah,
that I,
Giannis don't look happy.
I think that pretty much sums it up, man, is that Giannis picture. I mean, the Bucks is probably a great analogy, except he didn't make the playoffs. But it's just been a disappointing ride for the money man. I
Yeah.
mean, there's just there's just a lot to unpack with this team.
Hmm.
Um, And I see what they were trying to do, right? Trying to surround Giannis with some players, but I mean, I don't know, man. You got CJ McCollum, you got Jarrett McCain. What did he ended up sending Jarrett McCain somewhere too? Or
Um, I, he waived Jared McCain. Believe it or not.
yeah,
How
man.
crazy is that?
Damn, this front office is struggling, man. This front office is struggling.
Also waived Dillingham. And I know Dillingham, is kind of a polarizing player and didn't maybe perform up to expectations or their expectations, but I mean, when you look back at that season, you're gonna say, man, I really just waived Jared McCain and Rob Dillingham when you're a franchise who needs cheap young talent to surround Giannis. Giannis can't be happy with none of this, man. I mean, let's just call a thing. Giannis is not happy.
Giannis. He's demanding bring in Miles Turner, bring in somebody because he
I
can't
got
do it.
Miles Turner, man. If you want him,
He can't do it by
I don't know what you
himself.
got, but
Yeah, he's gotta shake things up. He's gotta get on the trade market, man, because he did no trades last season. So You know, they need to lay out a vision. I think this team doesn't have a clear vision as far as what they want to do, or they don't have a great idea of how to build a roster that can succeed around Giannis. I feel like they've gone now a couple of seasons with Giannis, and it's just been a struggle, right? And last
Yeah.
year was a year which Giannis was healthy, right? So you can't really, chalk it up to health. They had some notable victories. I mean, they beat your Gotham Great Danes in week two, um, beat North Provolone. Right, that's a decent win. Beat by Brooklyn Phoenix and the New York
Mm.
Knickerbockers in back-to-back weeks. Um, but other than that, they've just struggled, man. What do they do next? How do they pick themselves out of this gutter? I mean, this is one of those teams that haven't. I mean, they might have not even smelled the quarterfinals in the history of the association. What do they have to
Yeah.
do?
Yeah, I don't know. But you look at what they've got going on as far as the front court. Giannis, Jakob Poeltl, Walker Kessler, who by the way is getting to me getting pretty expensive. You know how I do, but um next season Walker Kessler is going to be $54, and that's quite expensive for me. Um, but I to each their own. Uh, you know, Tari Eason's on this team. Um, I just, Kaishawn George was a nice pickup for them. Um, but I can't help but when they signed CJ to a deal on a really nice friendly deal, I love CJ. He plays well. He comes in, does his job, drops his buckets, performs well everywhere he's been. Um, and has him on a nice little friendly deal. That was the right kind of pickup, but I'm really wondering what the long-term effects are going to be if Jared McCain really pops, you know? Because can you guess who took Jared McCain's place last year? And in hindsight, it, it's going to sound crazy, but he actually had a fine season. But do you know who he picked up and dropped Jared McCain for?
I don't think I want to. I
It
don't
was a
want to.
point guard.
Drew Holiday.
No, Drew Holiday was already on his team. Remember,
Okay.
he retained him at $106.
Um, Point guard. I don't know, man.
Russell Westbrook
Um,
had a good season last year, I think, right? I don't
he
know.
did. He did. Russell Westbrook looked.
But now who now you're like, wait, do you want another year of Russ or are you, I don't know. I'm pretty intrigued with McCain. Um,
Oh, I think McCain is going to be a star. I've seen enough, man. That guy is bold. He knows his game. He sees the floor really well. Um, he's just a high level basketball player, man. He plays with like a grit and um kind of a me against the world type of mentality, man. I love seeing him ball, man. Like he can play some basketball.
Yeah, he definitely balls. But biggest needs, man. What do you think? What's a good first step for this team this year?
First step is we got the trade block channel. That's a first good step. Maybe list some players, maybe try to get some attention, see what some players' values are at on the open market. Um, and then I don't know, man. I really struggle. I mean, this might be a tear it down type of team, but maybe I'm being
Mm.
a little bit harsh, but Kessler I'm not keeping. Podol maybe, but I mean it's kind of been tough. He's kind of been breaking down when you need him most. Tari Eason, Dort, man, this is just I get depressed looking at this list, man.
Oh man, well, yeah, I think first off, you gotta. I think this is if you're gonna trade Giannis, I think this is the season to do it, and I think you try to get as many assets for Giannis as possible. Giannis is at 124 next season. I think that's probably fair value for him. Is probably what he's gonna go for, if not more, in the open market. So I think you got to try to make a move for try to get Giannis, turn Giannis into some assets for you.
Yeah, I mean I just don't see it next year. I think this is like a 2 year project. Um, but I've been wrong before. I'm hoping Money Man proves me wrong.
Fair enough. Let's move on to North Provolone, the Big Cheese.
Big Cheese is right. The
The
Big Cheese.
finished 12th in the league. Um, yeah, man. Yeah, this is one of those teams where you look at the names on the paper and you say there there should be a good team, right? When you talk about Jason Tatum, Pascal Siakam, Trey Young, uh, Rudy Gobert, I, you know, it's full of talent, right? But they weren't perfect. Like they did some interesting things last year. I'll get to. What do you think about this team, and what do you think about what they did last season?
I think they did what they did every season, right? Like this team has not really been on the trade market much, and much of this team is players that they've drafted. Um, I
Hmm.
think they're approaching insanity, right? They've kind of been running it
Mm.
back year in and year out. And
Yep.
I think this is another one of those teams that haven't smelled a quarterfinals. So, I mean, at some point, right, you got to start flipping some of these guys to try to bring in some guys that better match, maybe some of the guys that you hold back and keep. Because I mean, all these guys on their team have, quite a bit of value and it's from some big names. But I think there was a lot of excitement in the Big Cheese, man. Because I remember the days when they had, you know, had risen and called themselves the Dynasty.
Yeah.
And I swear, man, ever since they did that, man, it's just been curtain calls, man, and it's just yeah, it hasn't gone well, man, and so um yeah, I'm concerned about their future, man. They're gonna have to. This is probably gonna be the most tested that they get. They're gonna have to start changing stuff. They're gonna have to make players feel uncomfortable in the locker room because they cannot run this roster back in its current form. Like is that's atrocious. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, that's true in a number of ways, right? I mean, if you look at their projected cap with the five guys that performed, their top five guys last year, Tatum, Siakam, Trey, Gobert, and Harry B. Um, those five alone take up or take you over the cap, 115% over cap, projected cap next year. So they're gonna have to make some changes here, whether they like it or not. And unfortunately, that's probably going to start with Tatum, who's had that unfortunate injury against the Knicks in the playoffs. I think he was set to make what I don't know, definitely I don't know. It was one. maybe 160 or so.
Yeah, I mean, you're not keeping that. I mean, that's hitting the market, right? At that rate.
No,
Um,
say 140, 140 it is. And
Won
but
anything. I'm not keeping no
when
Tatum.
anything, yeah, he's not playing, right? He's not playing next season. So you know you're gonna have some money to free up there. Um, you know, I'm thinking maybe you try to move some of your assets. Brandon Ingram, $25. I mean, if anyone still has any shares of Brandon Ingram left and hasn't sold their stock, he's only $25. You might be able to get something there, or you might just keep him and see if this is the season he plays. I don't know. Um, the one thing I'm gonna say about this team is they have got to. I don't know if Johnny Davis is his son or is this like whose kid is this? Like he's a family friend or something. Johnny Davis has a spot on his team. He even had some starch last year. And I'm like, yo, what's happening here? This is clear violation of anti Busters rule, no tanking. But you know what? I couldn't even call him out because he won some of those matchups.
Yeah, I think it's kind of the reverse psychology. Maybe Johnny Davis putting him in there might inspire some folks on the bench. Um, Maybe sacrifice their bodies and maybe return in action a little bit earlier than their timelines. I mean, I don't know. But the fact that you got Johnny Davis and you're not making any waiver pickups that's dysfunctional management. That
Yeah.
is straight cheese, man. I looked at the number of transactions, and can you tell me how many transactions North Provolone made last year?
I want to say zero. I'll be surprised if there was one. But if I have to go somewhere in the positive, I'll say one.
Right on the money. One transaction, man. He was the lowest, even lower than yours truly, Solid State, who put in a whopping two moves and four wave, or no, two moves. Two moves.
So even Solid State was more active in the open market.
Yeah, man. You
Not a good
could
look.
you could just tell who's not doing well, man. You could just go right to the moves. Money Man, 10 moves. Bombers, 4 moves. Steve Blake Express, 7 moves. North Provolone, 1. Kings Landing, 5. Solid State, 2. You don't got to train a model.
Mhm.
Like, this ain't rocket science. You got to make moves, man. You can't just be staring at the screen and thinking the players are going to change. You got to actually go into the computer, type the players, press the add button, and drop somebody on your roster. This is not okay. This
Bro,
is
just
this is not okay, man.
it's not okay to have Johnny Davis still on your team. Like, I'm not mad at anybody else on this team, but Johnny Davis, I know you drafted him. Maybe he had some sort of like life. I don't know if he signed a lifetime deal or what. I don't know what happened there, but Johnny Davis has to go. That's the first move if we're gonna improve on this roster, right? That's got to be the first move. Um, anything else, I think you're just adding icing to the cake there. But you start there, you're already moving in the right direction.
John, yeah, I mean that's like the obvious thing. But now I'm looking at the moves, and I'm realizing what the problem is they see their champion, their current champion, the Gotham Great Danes only made 4 moves. So everybody's like, oh, I'm gonna just be like Dane. The Danes are only making 4 moves, so I'm only 3 more away. And so the problem is you got to sometimes know where you're at in the standings and rankings. And these teams,
Well,
that
like you said, you have to know
rattle.
when you need to make moves And when you're making moves just to kind of, get lucky with something. But there's so much talent on the waivers. That's one of the reasons why we have the roster sizes that we do, why we have we slot everyone to kind of keep a starting lineup of eight, and just so that we can get people can get lucky and we can see some nice cheap pickups, and things that you could carry over into next season and build around, and kind of create that environment of that winning environment. But you just if you're not gonna kind of take advantage of the talent out there, then I mean, what are we doing?
Amen, man. You preaching to the choir.
Well, man, that those were the four mid teams. Do you see anyone in there that you feel like is in best position to take a leap next year and jump into being a playoff team?
If I had to pick one, it would be the Sparrows. I'd say 95% confidence Sparrows makes the playoffs. I think they're going to listen to this. They're going to look at themselves in the mirror. They're going to think about the Indiana Pacers, and they're going to say, you know what? We've learned our lesson. We're going to go for it no matter what. I think the Sparrows, 95% chance will be in the playoffs. Titanes, de San Juan, I'd put at like the 50%. If
Mm.
Luca lives up to all the hype and all the things that I'm seeing on social media, then that's a playoff team. Luca plays 75 games and he's MVP, right? Then I think that there's highly chance. But Moneyman and North Provolone, man,
Got some soul searching to do.
they're like three moves away, man. It's just yeah, they're in pretty bad shape.
Yeah, and I'm agreeing with you, man. I think Syracuse, Dr. Teddy B, man, we're rooting for you. You don't let us down, man. You can do this. Titanis is right up there, but with the money that can be spent this off season, I think it's and the young talent already there to build around. I think it's a good bet to say Syracuse can be that team to make a leap into the next group. So, all right, man. Well, if there's nothing else, man, let's call it. We're at 11:30, close to midnight. Um, yeah, appreciate the time, man. Appreciate the time.
Yeah, man, this has been great, man, and can't wait to get to the teams in the
Yep,
playoffs that
yep,
were, one move, maybe one matchup, one steal, one block, a field goal
yeah,
missed or field goal made from, you know, winning the award that you got to host up this year. So,
yeah. Next time we come back, we're gonna be talking about the Rising Four, and hopefully we have a guest with us next time and to talk about these teams. Well, we'll see. We'll see who's available. All right, man. Peace.
yes.